We're not going for the obvious picks here, so ranked contenders like Muhammad Mokaev or Jack Della Maddalena and renowned up-and-comers like Bo Nickal won't get any mention aside from this one. No, we're hoping to introduce you to prospects you might not know, prospects that I'm personally liking the look of. So without further ado, in no particular order, here are 7 amazing UFC prospects. Gabrielle Bonfim. To kick things off, we have one of the 2 Bonfim brothers in the UFC, and though Ishmael is certainly an excellent future contender in his own right, especially if he can continue to grow, I am quite intrigued by Gabrielle Bonfim's development. He's 25 years old, he fights at welterweight, and he has a perfect 14-0 record with a submission by Von Flue choke on the Contender Series, and then a rapid guillotine in his debut. Sure, he's a little wild. He's also a little hittable at this point in time, but the core skills that are there seem to be quite strong. This guy is a finisher with 11 subs and 3 knockouts, giving him a 100% finishing rate, and at the very least, his pressure-intensive style is a crowd pleaser. Only time will tell how he stacks up within the 170-pound mix, but his explosiveness and dynamism will be a threat if he can shore his defense up a bit as he grows. He'll make his second appearance on the Poirier-Gaethje card in late July, and I for one am certainly looking forward to it. Cameron Saaiman. Cameron Saaiman is right at the forefront of this ongoing South African wave in MMA. Alongside his teammate Dricus du Plessis, he is quietly building his own momentum, and after finding his way into the UFC with a finish on the Contender Series, Saaiman has gone 3-0 in the UFC, with 2 of these victories coming by way of finish. He of course recently took home another win at UFC 290, moving to 3-0 in the UFC's 135-pound division. And what I like about this guy is just how tenacious he is, how driven he is to take the fight to his opponent. Indeed, it's a trait that will likely get him in trouble from time to time, but what I see here is a 22-year-old who has already proven himself to be a worthy addition to possibly the best division in the sport. He's an exciting and proven finisher, and I think there's a real chance we could see him within the top 15 over the course of the next year or so. Carlos Ulberg. It all appears to be coming together at the right point in time for Carlos Ulberg. He spent some time as a kickboxer, just like his city kickboxing teammate Israel Adesanya, but upon making his transition to mixed martial arts, the results have been getting increasingly promising. He earned his contract on the Contender Series, but he did get caught in his UFC debut and KO'd. However, in the 4 fights since then, his run of 4 victories with 3 coming by knockout have shown Ulberg to be one of the slickest strikers at light heavyweight right now. His left hook in particular is all kinds of nasty. He throws it very quickly and can generate a lot of power on the back foot. And this ongoing streak of first round KOs is showcasing his confidence coming through. He's 32, which is still a reasonable age at 205 pounds, and if he doesn't get a ranked opponent in his next fight, a win will ensure that he does after that. Javed Basharat. Well-roundedness is the name of the game when it comes to this bantamweight prospect, Javed Basharat. He's a rare prospect hailing from Afghanistan, although he did grow up in the UK. What I like about Basharat is how solid he is in every facet of his game. Though he is only 3-0 in the UFC with all decisions, he just came off an 11-fight win streak on the regional level, where he finished every single opponent. At just 27 years old, I see this guy as a highly promising prospect, who I think could come alive as a more devastating opponent, as he rises into the top 15 within the stacked bantamweight division. He's got dynamic and creative striking, excellent work on the mat, and some pretty nasty ground and pound once he gets going. I'd imagine that he'll get a ranked opponent soon, although only time will tell. Sharab Magomedov. Okay, so this guy's a bit of a wild card, with major emphasis on the word wild. Known for being a bit of a loose cannon outside of the cage, Magomedov is certainly a very skilled operator inside of it. Unbeaten at 11-0 with 10 knockouts, the aptly named Shara Bullet is a devastating striker who is showing himself to be a highly diverse and dangerous finisher. The guy also has one eye as well, which only really adds to the mystique of the whole thing. He's another Dagestan prospect, and with that will come a horde of highly devoted fans. And although he couldn't be any further from the stoic and reserved figures who put that region on the map in MMA, Shara Bullet has a look, he has the fighting style, and now he has a UFC contract, although we're still waiting for his debut within the middleweight division. Tatsuro Tyra. I reckon we're looking at one of the best Japanese exports in years with Tatsuro Tyra. He's definitely a personal favorite of mine within this mix. He's got a very fun style to watch, and though his submissions and overall BJJ skills are clearly at the forefront of everything he does well, his striking does come to the fore often too. And at just 23 years old, he clearly has a lot of room to improve in all departments. We recently saw him turn in a solid but methodical performance at UFC 290, showing some interesting facets to his game while also letting letting us know that there are improvements to be made. But his inclusion here boils down to his clear skills, and the fact that he has so much time in front of him to improve. I definitely peg him as a future contender, and probably sooner rather than later. Akramaliskarov. Although I've already mentioned that this list is in no particular order, there's a very good chance that Akramaliskarov reaches the top of his division way before anyone else here. After an excellent career in Sambo that saw him take home many gold medals, this guy was primarily known to mainstream audiences for eating a massive uppercut against Khamzat Chimaev under the Brave CF banner. But his form in the time since has really showcased a threat to the middleweight top 5. So much so, in fact, that the UFC decided to follow up his debut victory over Phil Hawes with a huge jump in competition against Paulo Costa. He's another rising Dagestan fighter, and the UFC are obviously taking a risk to try and test his fighting skill and his star power. But to be honest, looking at his Sambo career, his run in MMA, and his ceiling within this not too stacked middleweight division, I actually think it could be a good move. If he can actually beat a credible fighter and attraction like Paulo Costa, we could be seeing Akramaliskarov in a title fight before too long. Anyway, that'll just about do it for the video, but which prospects do you see as the ones to watch, both within the UFC and beyond, at this point in time? Do let us know in the comments section below, and if you're enjoying the content, show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We're very much on the road to 100,000 subscribers and stepping on the gas, so there's a lot more content to come, folks. Thank you for watching.